Do you like Pink Floyd's music?
I mean, I do, but like, I don't know. I'm not like a huge diehard fan.
My
Like,
answer is
I don't
no.
know a
But
lot
listen,
about the band.
Brick in the Wall and Money are classics, undeniable. But am I like, could I name you 4 other Pink Floyd songs? No.
I like Led Zeppelin a lot more than I like Pink Floyd, if that helps.
Interesting.
What about you? Are you a Pink Floyd fan?
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
You definitely are a Pink Floyd fan.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you to say definitely. That's for sure.
Like, you want to know how much of a Pink Floyd fan I am?
Yep.
I didn't know they sang Money. When he started playing Money, I was like, oh, no fucking way. That's Pink Floyd.
That's interesting.
Well, just how advanced making that movie,
The Wall?
The Wall, with Bob Geldof, I believe, is the guy in it.
Bob Geldof.
Yeah, the guy that did Farm Aid, not Farm Aid. What was that? Yeah.
Yo, I know who you're talking about.
And the mixing the animation, like so many people could say they're inspired by or influenced by what he did. As I guess I didn't realize, I saw Sid Barrett was a member of the band who just did acid and went crazy, but he was sort of writing all the songs and went crazy, and Roger sort of had to pick up without him.
Yeah, that was a crazy story he was telling, where like this guy who was the driving force of this band was obviously so off his rocker, but they just continued like in real life. You know what I mean?
But
he still did the shit.
The way he put it, he seemed like Sid Barrett was the legit anti-star. He's like, Sid, like, they want us to play on the show. We're going to start making the money. He's like, no, I'm not in it for that. Like that.
You know what I think happened?
Kurt Cobain.
You know what I think happens a lot too? I think a lot of people, your buddy starts a band. You can play guitar. Maybe you're good at writing. He's like, yo, you want to join this band? And you're like, yeah, I do, because I like spending time with my friends. And in your head, you're like, this is never going to amount to anything. I just really like playing the guitar. I really like this group of guys. We meet up a couple times a week. And then, you're like, you know what? I don't mind playing the occasional live show too. This is fun. And next thing you know, you're selling out arenas and you're wildly famous.
Do you think that happens a lot?
Maybe you're like wildly antisocial and you don't want to be in front of all those people. Maybe that's the worst thing.
That happens all the time. That happens with the Eagles. That happens with a lot of people.
Yes, Kamar, I do. When you asked it, I do think it happens more often than not. That scenario specifically, because I think actors, that's something that you have to want. Like if you're an actor, you know kind of what you're getting into, unless you do stage, right? That's like real acting where you're not going to get famous.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I think bands get together and at least one person wants to be famous, wants to be a rock star, wants to like.
I agree. I'm
delusionally chase it.
But what I'm saying though is, like I said, that's why I use like your guitar playing buddy. You know what I mean? Also, I watched this documentary the other day. There's like 20 musicians in the world that have been a part of like every single big sort of music.
They're more studio
album.
guys, you mean?
Yeah, just like
Motown.
Yeah, just a guitar guy that every single person has had on their album. You know what I mean?
Russell Shoals.
Yeah, a drummer that's like played for everyone, that sort of thing.
And definitely like, I mean, I think he does the same thing over and over again. Although he changes songs and shows, he said he did 200 shows and on the last one he changed it. But it's not like he's making new music.
I mean, that's almost good because, like, when you hear, oh, the Stones came out with a new album, there's like, is there really a part of you that's like, oh, I can't wait to hear? No. Like, if you go to a Stones show and they're like, we're going to play you some new songs, you're like, oh my God, just give me,
paint it black.
Exactly. That's exactly where my head's at. I don't know. For me personally, like, and I get it. You're an artist, you're a musician. You're like, I want to keep creating. I don't just want to play the same 15 songs over and over again. But for us, we just want to hear.
If you're the Rolling Stones, you're like Burt Kreischer. Take your shirt off and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I was trying to think in my head just of the last time a Rolling Stones had a good song. I think it was "Start Me Up," which is still 20 years ago.
Still,
that's 30 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a long time.
It was a long time ago, but
it's 1992, I think. Or
they've
93.
put out 10 albums since then.
It's not an even amazing song, but if it goes on, you sort of, hey, it's.
Stop me up.
I just think of that scene in Forrest Gump where Jenny's playing the guitar and that guy in the crowd just yells out, "Take your shirt off." Like, it feels like, you know what I mean? You don't want to end up being that, where, like, again, like I said, like, just play night moves. But I guess it's tough. It's a weird flex though, because it's like you got rich off of Paint It Black, Give Me Shelter, and then you have like a low key hatred of.
I think more.
Yeah, and Bob Seger has plenty.
I know, it's a fucking calm down.
Or is it Pete Seeger?
Who do you think's
Bob.
bigger,
Bob
Bob Seger or Prince?
Well, I think Prince is a
Prince.
better musician.
Yeah, I do too. But Bob Seger's bigger.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you mean bigger?
More hits, more.
No, I think Prince on every level is bigger. What do you mean no? You're just
I
saying
thought-
that categorically no.
I
I
went
bet on
to
money
Bob
made,
Seger and I
money
went to
made, and
Prince.
album sales. I bet Bob Seger wins.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull up the stats in 2 seconds
pull it up.
here. I'm going to come back to
I
this.
think what my point was with Pink Floyd is not necessarily pop music. It's way more. Some songs are obviously like have fallen into the pop genre of yacht rock or whatever, but they're way more experimental. So they could still proceed new technologies.
What is
be
yacht
more
rock?
experimental?
It's like
Yes, I understand music
Margaritaville.
you'd listen.
What you'd listen to
On a
if you
yacht,
own-
yes.
if you own the yacht.
No, it's
guess that's
like,
why I have no-
Well, what's his name? He's the epitome
Jimmy
of it.
Buffett,
Jimmy Buffett.
Eagles,
Okay.
Eagles.
everything Burt Kreischer listens to.
Yeah, you guys are naming like it's, I guess
Who
that's
else? What is another yacht rock though besides those
They're
two?
Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates, nice, like that. Yeah. What else?
I think it's all American. It's almost all American. I don't think there's a lot of British yacht rock.
like Credence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Creedence is some good yacht rock.
I don't think Credence is yacht rock.
Chicago.
Chicago's probably yacht rock.
Chicago is yacht rock. I think a little Foreigner, Journey.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the Lord.
I don't think that's yacht rock,
yacht
man.
rock.
No,
I don't think that's
no,
yacht rock.
no.
That's almost folk.
That's got too
Hangman
much
is
soul
coming
to be
down
yacht
from
rock.
the gallows.
Beach
and
Boys
I-
are yacht rock.
No,
Oh.
Beach Boys is surf rock.
Yeah.
You don't even know what you're talking about anymore, man.
Surfers do not listen to Beach Boys now.
The only
So on a yacht
Kokomo,
does.
Kokomo was yacht rock. That's
At
where
the
they
end of
turned the
there.
corner. But everything else,
Have you guys ever heard of the Empiricals? Local band?
no.
From Ottawa.
Yeah.
Shout out the Empiricals.
Paul, the super quiet sound guy from Babylon, was like one of the most incredible guitarists. He was in this band called the Empiricals. They were massive in Japan. Like I remember once I was back there and I was like, Paul, how was your week? He's like, oh, I just got back from Japan. We did like a month there. And I was like, doing what? He's like, oh, we had sold out shows.
Why wouldn't he just live in Japan?
He had a kid that lived here. But yeah, they had like that, the Japanese love that like surf style, like Mersalou.
Mersalou, is that a style or a band?
It's the band. It's the, the intro to Pulp Fiction. Hey,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Mirsalou, or I'm probably saying it wrong.
Yeah, I think
Miraslow or Miras.
I'm gonna look that
Yeah,
up too.
please do. Yeah, they love that kind of music in Japan, and that was the Empiricals. I don't know why I brought
What
that
was
up.
the
Sorry,
first thing I had
non-sequitur.
to look up though?
Bob
We were going to look
Seger
up
versus
Bob
Prince.
Seger versus Prince. Yeah. Come on, I go back to it. Prince is probably one of the most gifted musicians ever to walk the
I
earth.
think Prince is greater than Bob Seger.
Yeah, I agree with
If I
you. Yeah.
listen to one of them for the rest of my life, I'd choose Prince. But I assumed in my naivety that Prince, more album sales, more hits than Bob Seger, but I was wrong. Unless Simon's found some new information.
Prince wrote, what's that Sinead O'Connor song? Nothing Compares to You.
Yes, he did.
That's a fucking, like,
He also wrote Another Manic Monday by the Bengals.
really, he wrote? That's interesting. Didn't know that.
It was hilarious for him to shit on Rolling Stone as this followed the Yan.
Yeah.
But like you said before, he did profess respect and admiration for Yan, but sort of decreed Rolling Stone as the left wing rag that I did. But it's more like, I guess the supporter guys like, you're 80 years old rocker. What the hell do you know about what's going on geopolitically? But I think I defend him and saying he's pretty on top of it, despite numerous examples of forgetting what he was talking about
He's
or
80
where
years
he was
old.
going with something.
So 78 million worldwide for Bob Seger, 150 million worldwide for Prince.
I stand
there you
corrected
go.
proudly. Thank you.
Bob Seger made more touring for sure. Prince didn't do a lot of live shows.
I think that's what it is. The whole.
I think that's a fair
the
assessment.
whole
no?
encompass.
You know, Prince played at Oliver's.
Yes, after show.
Yeah.
He's that kind of. He's that kind
He used
of guy.
to do an after show in every city, and he played at the fucking Ottawa or Carleton
school?
University
Yes.
bar.
Oh,
Oliver's.
University. It's weird how I used to go to that place as an underage kid. It was an amazing thing, and then when I was old enough to go there, it was like kids.
Yeah.
Like, you
Then you
don't-
were like creepy as fuck.
Exactly.
Oh, I went to school at Carleton.
Mm-hmm.
We went there. It wasn't.
It had one of the biggest raves in the world at one point. Cosmic.
Yeah, that 4-story
It was
house.
crazy. That's when I really got into doing drugs and going to
Each
events
room
like
was
design.
like a different.
And there's weird corridors that were
yeah.
constructed. It didn't look like a university.
That's where you go to like fuck yourself up even more. Whereas I always was fucked up enough when I did psychedelics.
Raves in our generation and locale were nuts because they were all run by bikers. And if you fucked around, you were going to get fucked up.
And there were definitely drugs there.
It's a rave.
So there was Bono. She
That
shit
was the most like, yeah, we know moment
That's
ever.
okay.
Captain Obvious.